skeletons and shivers down your...
Excuse me. Hey guys and ghouls, welcome back. I'm Ian and this is Opinion. The day is finally here and I'm here to celebrate Halloween with you by taking you on a special couple tours of yard haunts, one that I worked on and my very own here at my house. Our first stop is the Haunted Graveyard out in Scottsdale, Arizona. It's in its 33rd year and it's been voted one of the top 10 haunted house maze walkthroughs in Arizona. Its creator, Chris Burkett, was kind enough to let me get some behind the scenes footage of the haunt while it was still in the works before it opened. And then we're gonna take a trip over to my house where I would love to show you my yard haunt that I created for this year's Halloween. Before we begin our tour, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to my channel, and welcome to all my new subscribers. I am thrilled to have you here. I think this is about everything I need. Let's go. So hey, I'm out here in the front yard of the Haunted Graveyard. I can't be too loud because it's really late, but he's got all the lights currently on. His numbers have been going up every year. A couple years ago he had over 3,000 people a night coming to see the haunt, and then like last year I think it went to about 4,500, and they're expecting over 6,000 people in the course of a couple days here at the haunt. So I'm sure you can see just a little bit of the incredibleness of this yard. It is built on the side of his yard. He uses part of his garage, he uses part of his actual house, and he opens it up annually for Halloween guests and for Christmas guests. And this year his entire maze is based on Michael Myers, because Halloween just came out, the newest Halloween. And so you're kind of taking a journey through Michael Myers' brain. It takes you on a complete journey. Whoop. Yeah, right there. If this looks familiar at all, that's because you've probably seen it before at Disneyland Park, except it's here in his backyard. He made his pool area into a facade of Indiana Jones and the Temple of the Forbidden Eye, made from scratch. Just two guys built this entire thing. Absolutely incredible. I'm walking through the get electrocuted room right here. This is kind of horrible. I actually hate this room in a really good way. So last year and this year I was one of the few people lucky enough to be asked to come out and work on a couple rooms in Chris's walkthrough portion of the Haunted Graveyard. I got to do the entryway, which is a very Haunted Mansion style room, which is kind of my specialty, so I'm gonna give you a little tour. This is a section that's almost done. It's kind of like a little glow-in-the-dark attic cutoff area as you turn right into the next room. So I got to do all the glow paint in this, and it's pretty incredible stuff to work with. I can't believe the details that you can get with it. And this was a hell of a lot of fun and pretty easy. I'll take you on around here. This is going to be an attic room. So it's another room that I got to work on, hanging all sorts of spooky cloth, and this is going to be lit with just random spotlights and very dark. So if you see these masks on the wall, these just kind of pop right out of the darkness and they look like people waiting to scare you. So Chris told me that this is actually one of the rooms that gets the most screams, because people are like, that's the real one, it's the real one. So we're almost done with this. It's a little after 2 in the morning and we're getting there. The haunt opens tomorrow, so here's the attic in the works. I know you can't see me, but I'm here on the actual night of now, and I mean, look at this crowd. There are thousands, hundreds of people who come to see this. Hundreds, thousands, not thousands, hundreds. I am all done, and we were all done, and it was really
really great experience. So nice to see people enjoying like what you've done. And here's a little bit more of the yard in case you didn't see that before. And if you are in Phoenix or in Scottsdale, Arizona, you should come check this out.
Ooh. The Haunted Graveyard is open for 5 nights this year, ending tonight on Halloween night to guests of all ages. Are you ready to head over to my place? Let me give you a little tour. I expanded my yard haunt this year to accommodate all my new headstones, so I ended up with 2 pet cemeteries. This one has all the smaller pets like Jinx and Nero, who are new additions. One of my pedestals broke this year, unfortunately, and I didn't want to trash it, so I used it to make this neglected little spot back here just to add some dimension. And don't worry, you can't see the air conditioning unit at night. Over on this side, we have my big pet cemetery, which I'm sure you can tell draws some influence from the Haunted Mansions in Disneyland. I assembled and painted just about every headstone in these cemeteries, and a lot of them from things like upside down flower pots and ceramic animals from a thrift store. If you want, check out my tutorial on how to make these. I decided to make my bird grave a hanging one in a cage. I thought that might be an interesting look. Over here is the human section of the cemetery, starting with my pumpkin garden. I wanted it to look like a resting spot you might find in a graveyard, just long neglected and overgrown. A couple of these pumpkins are store-bought, and the rotten ones are new additions I learned to make this year. These pumpkins in particular are paper mache and weatherproofed. They're handmade by me, and they took nearly an entire summer to make. They were worth it, and I modeled this one after the Hatbox Ghost's face. My dead crows are enjoying their bird bath, which is actually a repurposed cement fountain base. It has some new lighting this year, which I hid from view with some dried moss. As we continue our little tour, I'll show you 2 cemetery alcoves I created between the bushes in my front yard. I like to layer the scenery to give the effect that the space between the shrubs actually goes back farther than it seems. I made the larger headstones out of pink insulation foam and hand-etched the epitaphs. This was actually the result of an accident last year, which left me with just the bottom half of the skeleton. So I thought I'd make a scene with him here as a little homage to the passed out ghost laying under the dinner table in the Haunted Mansion's ballroom scene. The second alcove reveals more gravestones layered into the scenery, and here's the third foam headstone I made. You might recognize the inscription. And I'll give you a closer look at the other tombstones that I made from earlier. It's a lot of ground to cover, so to speak, and worth it when the sun goes down. behind the scenes peek at Agatha, which is the name of the ghost that we put in the upstairs window here. This is just a red curtain that's mounted on a rod, and it holds the figure in place. Now the figure itself is just kind of a body shape ghost from Target that I modified, and one of my friends was very kind and made me a lighting unit for it. So he made the blinking eyes and the candle and the beating heart. So come here, I want to show you. All it is basically, here she is upstairs, and you can see that all this is a figure with some lights installed. I put a fluorescent light down there to give her some illumination, and I put a fan down there to give her some movement, and she's pretty awesome. There she is, just blinking away. So that's basically all it is. You can make stuff like this on a dime, you know? So that concludes my yard haunt, and I want to wish you the happiest of Halloweens.